Today on FJI, getting a new look and rebuilding Iraq. Welcome to this edition of Freedom Journal Iraq. I'm PFC John Sheldon, and here's a look at events shaping the region. Major General James D. Thurman, the Commanding General of Multinational Division Baghdad, met with local residents in Ghazaliyah. While visiting a bustling marketplace, he talked with them about security in the region and listened to their comments on the quality of life. Also, General George Casey, Commanding General of Multinational Force Iraq, made a visit to the same neighborhood. He toured newly opened shops and local police stations. He visited the Joint Operations Center inside the Iraqi police station, which enables the Iraqi police, national police, and army to coordinate joint operations. Soldiers from the 1st Armored Division have been in Ghazaliyah since August and have placed security barriers, repaired schools, and cleaned up the trash from the streets. During the next 3 to 6 months, contracts are scheduled to be awarded for a primary health clinic, repairs to sewage lines, and improvements to the electrical grid in order to increase electricity. In a related story, as Operation Together Forward presses on, communities all over Baghdad are getting facelifts. Army Sergeant Frank Marola reports from the neighborhood of Ghazaliyah, where soldiers are making it happen.
Do we have a count on the trucks?
Sergeant First Class Peter Fernandez is a civil affairs specialist with Alpha Company 412 Civil Affairs Battalion. Sergeant Fernandez and his soldiers are working with the 123 Infantry Regiment in Ghazaliyah in northwest Baghdad to organize a trash cleanup project.
It's just accumulated to the point where it's unsafe, it's unsanitary. So we're trying to clean it up to give the towns a helping hand, get them started while we're in here.
The mission is part of Operation Together Forward, which is happening all over Baghdad. Coalition forces are sweeping through areas to make them secure and then hiring local contractors to make essential services improvements like solid waste disposal.
We'll verify it when they come by here.
Captain Robert Callahan with 123 Infantry Regiment is the officer in charge of the project in Ghazaliyah. He says while Civil Affairs handles the contracts and the bidding process, his soldiers focus on coordination and quality control.
Making sure they're doing their job, making sure we got an accurate count of how many trucks are working that day so we can pay them accurately.
While Sergeant Fernandez and Captain Callahan pound out the details with contractors, soldiers like Luis Figueroa pull security and pass out candy to the kids.
I like it because we try to do things that make this place better.
Making Baghdad a better place is ultimately up to the Iraqis, who are in the lead on the project, from planning by community leaders to operating heavy equipment.
It gets them working in their own neighborhoods. We try to hire locals as much as possible. It gets a little more pride going in the neighborhood when they see it that it's clean.
And soldiers take pride in it too.
It's has some satisfaction behind it, helping the people.
It's looking better, and it's going to get better and better. We hope.
In Baghdad, Army Sergeant Frank Marola, 363rd MPAD.
After the break, Marines and sailors take time out to have some fun. Stay with us.
I feel it's important to come here and tell the troops we salute them, we support them. We're profoundly thankful for the historic difference you're making for our defense and for the democracy in the world. Thank you all so very much. God bless you.
You're watching Freedom Journal Iraq on AFN. You know it.
Welcome back. Since the liberation of Iraq from Saddam Hussein 3 years ago, coalition forces have assisted the Iraqi people with rebuilding long-neglected areas of the country. In northern Iraq, an innovative collection of workers formed a team to reconstruct Nineveh province. Chief Petty Officer Darrell Crandall tells us more.
The first provincial reconstruction team in Iraq has been on the job almost a year now. The Nineveh PRT was established in Mosul in October 2005, and since then has been working to strengthen the provincial government.
But our job is to build their capacity so that they can carry on and build a democracy in this country once we are gone.
An economic and agricultural team has helped start up hundreds of businesses in the province. A governance team has helped develop a democratic process with town hall meetings and support to the governor and provincial council, Nineveh's equivalent of a state legislature.
The governor and the provincial council, the leadership of the province, to include the chief judge, some of the police and some of the military commanders, get together and they discuss the future, they plan, and they decide what course the government and the province should take. Then we go back and we make the government systems work. So if the governor does what he does, the provincial council does what it's supposed to do, and the police and the army ensure that security is okay so that this province can move forward and improve and continue to work in a democratic manner.
The PRT is also home to a rules of law team that works with the Iraqi police and legal counsel. The PRT also strengthens the province's infrastructure. Over the past year, its reconstruction branch planned $30 million in projects to improve such things as roads and utilities.
Mosul, Baghdad, Mosul to Hook, Mosul to Offer, and then several other smaller roads in the province.
The Ninawa PRT is a diverse mix of both military and civilian experts, people who blend their talents into a cohesive team.
You have someone from the Department of Justice who can help the rule of law and the judges and the police, and you've got the military civil affairs teams who are trained in all the spectrum of different government assistance type missions. You also have folks out of the embassy staff, Iraqi expatriates. You have people who are schooled in utilities and basic services, and all those different elements that come together here to help advise, teach, coach, and mentor all the government officials so that their government improves. And that's what the mission of the PRT is.
With a year of forward progress under its proverbial belt, the PRT looks forward and outward from Mosul, reaching into rural and remote areas, areas that for 30 years were unfamiliar with the workings of democracy.
We're able to take the leadership of the province out to see the people, hold a series of town hall meetings over the last 3 or 4 months that have helped connect the two levels of government. So now you've got the people in the outlying areas of the provinces, the small towns that never see the governor. The governor and his council have actually come out there, spoken to the people, listened to their concerns, addressed them, and helped solve as many of their problems as they could.
The Ninawa Provincial Reconstruction Team, born just about a year ago, is growing and continues to focus on the needs of those who call Iraq's northern Ninawa province home, while Iraq's democratically elected government works to be more responsive to its people. Chief Petty Officer Daryl Crandall, Mosul, Iraq.
Marines and sailors participated in a special event at Camp Fallujah, giving them time to kick off their boots. The service members competed while still maintaining their military bearing. Lance Corporal Ryan Tomlinson shows us how they can have some fun.
The troops at Camp Fallujah, Iraq, participated in a day of physical competition known as Fun Day. Despite being in a combat zone, Marines and sailors can forget about their jobs and have fun for a day.
It is very important to have field meets like this for actually all Marines because they're out on the road, especially security, and my company, CLC 115, doing convoys in support of RCT 5 or fixing the vehicles and maintenance, whiling away doing the unappreciated work in headquarters that's very necessary, and it just takes their mind away from going home or just their job at hand, and gives them a nice break and time to have fun with each other.
The command gave service members the day off for a successful 7-month deployment in Iraq. The Marines and sailors joined forces in a Humvee pull, played dodgeball, demonstrated their strength with the tug-of-war, and ended with the talent show, which consisted of entertainment and music.
And the thunder rolls. We're kind of getting close to our time to leave here. So we don't want Marines to get complacent, but we want them to be able to relax and to just be able to, this will kind of clear everyone's head, you know, just to get there one day to, you know, relax and have fun, and then make sure that we're back to, you know, doing our jobs, getting work done to complete the mission and make sure everyone's safe and we get home.
The Fun Day also gave the Marines time to just sit and watch their comrades engage in physical competition. Gunnery Sergeant Jeffrey Woods says it affects the unit as a whole in a positive way.
All the different companies together, we've been working pretty much side by side throughout the whole deployment, but no one's known each other so much. When we know certain individuals throughout the other companies, this is the first time since we've been out here that everyone's gotten together.
The Marines and sailors will reflect about Fun Day as a day the command gave back to them. With the deployment coming to an end, the service members look forward to returning to the United States and Okinawa, Japan. Lance Corporal Ryan Tomlinson, Camp Fallujah, Iraq.
Tune in to FJI tomorrow when Specialist Tony Kanouf takes us to a naturalization ceremony in Iraq.
She's serving on LSA Anaconda, he's in Ramadi. But on this day, the So Dakota siblings joined forces to become naturalized U.S. citizens.
Thanks for watching the newscast that brings you the stories from the front lines of the War on Terror and Operation Iraqi Freedom. From all of us here at AFN and Freedom Journal Iraq, have a safe day.